Why is it that the cheater blames you for her actions? Like, why would she blame you, say that you're the problem, you're the reason that I cheated? I wasn't getting my needs met, and that's your fault. Like, why would she do this? Why would she go through all this trouble to blame you for it when she could have just told you what she wanted to begin with? Why is it so easy for her to just not take accountability, not take responsibility at all? You may find that this happens to all the women in your life. They just don't take responsibility for their actions. Why is that? Why is it the women in your life don't take responsibility for their actions, yet the women in my life all take responsibility for their actions? You're like, Ed, what the fuck? That's not true. I don't believe you at all. They do. And there's a real simple reason why that is. And we're going to talk about in this video why she blames you for cheating. And we're also going to talk about how you can be the kind of guy that a woman will take accountability around. The big hairy elephant in the room is she blames you because she doesn't want to take accountability. She's just going to blame you for it. You're the reason I did this. You did all, and she doesn't have to admit that she did anything wrong. In fact, she doesn't have to admit the fact that she didn't communicate to you what she wanted. She didn't have to admit the fact that she's just jumping on and chasing whatever her fancy requires, and it takes no self-control at all. It's easy to just have no self-control and then come back and say, it's not my fault. Kids do it all the time. I'm sure you've done it. I've done it. Everybody does it. But in this case, this is like a huge, huge betrayal in a relationship, is to cheat on your partner. And she blames you for it because you've probably set up the scenario where you've been playing the game, happy wife, happy life. Let me give her what she wants so she'll be happy, love me, and fuck me forever. Maybe she'll appreciate me. And then you find that she doesn't really appreciate you that much. You find that the more that you do, the less that you get over the long term. Where in the beginning, those little things meant a lot to her, and you're like, awesome, I'll just keep doing that. I'll do even more if she loves me this much. How much more will she love me if I do this other big thing? And then you find over time that she just kind of gets immune to it. Like, it's just not that interesting, exciting for her anymore that you're doing these things, and it's because you're coming at her from this game of approval-seeking behavior. You need her to feel good about you, and so you keep doing these things and doing these things to elicit this response, because there's a hole within yourself that you don't feel like you're good enough, and you need this woman to satiate that. You need her to make you feel better inside. I had this going on too. Most guys, I think, in the modern US are dealing with this. Like, we look for these women to make us feel better about ourselves. And if they'll fuck us and love on us, then we feel good about ourselves. And when that doesn't happen, we try to figure out what's wrong and we try to fix the situation. Sometimes we'll do a bunch of actions to try to get her to like you more. And this becomes this game of bribing, really. And it's this covert way, this hidden agenda of like, if I do all these things for you, you'll do this for me. And then eventually, because she's not reciprocating in the way that you want, and you feel like you've poured so much into it, you just blow up in anger. Like, I'm tired of doing all this for you. You don't appreciate any of it. And while that's valid, from her perspective, she sees you as emotionally unhinged and not in control of yourself, which is true because, one, you couldn't speak up because you're afraid, and then two, when you did speak up, you came out as a bastard. When you didn't get your way, you acted like a baby, and then when you didn't get your way long enough, you came out as a bastard. This is the baby-bastard dynamic we talk about in Soul Seducer. Link is in the description if you're curious about it. And the better you treat her in this way, the more respect she loses of you. If a woman starts to lose respect for you, it's not something you can command. Although having healthy boundaries to say, I ain't putting up with this shit, is a form of commanding respect. But it's not really commanding respect. It's just this space of, hey, be respectful to me or I just won't be available to you. I'll just disappear. I won't be in your life. You will not be in my life if you cannot be nice to me. And everybody knows what respectful behavior is. People say, I need her to respect me. I'm like, well, we need to define what respect is for you. Like, get really clear on what that is for you and then let her know what these things are. And guys won't say it. Or they'll say it to her, but he won't mean it. And so she will like keep pushing over these boundaries over and over again. She'll hold them for like maybe a month and then she'll come back and push and test it again. If you're with somebody like this, they're not relationship material. Somebody who loves you and cares about you, when you put a boundary up, they're going to say, hey, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to make you upset or angry. So I'm going to back off and I'll never do it again. That's how a healthy relationship is supposed to be. When you're with somebody who you tell the boundary, hey, I don't like that. Please don't talk to me in that way. And then they just override you or they justify why they're doing it and they just keep doing it over and over. Or maybe they back off because you said, hey, I'm not putting up with this. And you walk out the door and then they start it again a month later. Then you're with somebody who's just doing as much as they can get away with. That's not somebody who's really looking to grow a relationship with you. That's just somebody who wants to be a passenger, play the passive role in a relationship, and just do whatever they want, be lazy about it, and just see what they can get away with. They just want to be what they want. And they're going to tell you, hey, this is just me. I just got to be me. I'm going to do how I am. Like, yeah, you can just be you, but oftentimes the just being you is an asshole, and that's the same for all of us. We all have to endeavor to be a better person. Like our ego wants us to be narcissistic. Our ego wants us to be selfish and go after what we want and to make demands of other people. The proof is in every child that ever existed. They're all very egocentric, and as they grow up, we teach them how to be more empathetic, and they see it also in others, in the pain of others, and they become more empathetic. And so if you want to ruin a child, you spoil the hell out of them. You get them to be entitled, get them to see that they can have whatever they want, have no consequence, and they'll grow up as and be miserable humans. And so it's the same thing in your marriage. If you allow this type of stuff to happen in your marriage, where she can roll over your boundaries and then blame you for her emotional state, and then you take it on because you try to save her from her emotional state. You go in there and you say, hey, I love you, I want to try to help you, and you say, oh, she's upset, let me go make her feel better. Let me go make my wife feel better. You're telling her on a subconscious level that her emotions are your responsibility. So when she comes back around and blames you for leaving, she says, well, I wasn't getting my needs met. You weren't emotionally filling me up. Remember, that's your job. It's your responsibility to make me happy. I'm not happy in life, so it must be your fault. And so you playing this game of happy wife, happy life, taking your wife's emotional state personally is a codependency problem. Because what ends up happening is she can say, well, I guess I can do whatever I want. And you're like, no, you can't. She's like, yes, I can. Because if I don't, I'll just leave you. And you're like, okay, well, I guess trying to save the marriage, so I guess you can do it. I guess you can do whatever you want. And you don't think that. In her mind, she's thinking, I can do whatever I want here in this marriage. I don't have to worry about him. And then whenever you try to push back, she pulls away. She's like, hey, I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need. I was like, well, I'm not saying leave the marriage. Why can't we come to the table and talk about it? And she's like, oh, well, you don't need to talk about it. I'm going to do what I want. You're trying to stifle me. You're trying to control me. You're not my dad. You don't accept me. If you can't take me at my worst, you don't deserve my best. I'm like, how about you handle your worst and give me your best? Just like you're expecting me to do. And so in this space, you've trained her to do this to you. And so when she tells you, once again, that she's leaving you and it's your fault because you didn't meet her emotional needs, you had this contract with her the entire time that her emotional needs were your responsibility. So whose responsibility are they? They're hers. If you get into an adult relationship with somebody, then your happiness is your responsibility. It's not your partner's responsibility to make you happy with life and to fill that hole in your heart. That has to come from within you. And you do this with her too. If she approves of me, if she has sex with me and loves on me, I will feel complete in my life. And then now your entire life and world is built around this woman's approval. And so anytime she gets upset, anytime she gets overwhelmed with the children, you swoop in and try to save the day so that you can protect your world. And you, as a man, when this happens to you, you have to learn to decouple from that and build your own safety in your own world, regardless of your external world. You have to know who you are outside of your business. You have to know who you are outside your marriage. You have to know who you are outside of your children. And as a father, you need to know who you are outside of God even. And then through this, you build yourself with God, and then you build yourself with your purpose, and you build yourself with your wife, then you build yourself with your kids under the context that I am whole and complete without the need for them to make me feel better. Now you come from a place where you can stand on your own foundation. So if she gets upset, you're like, hey, I know my place already. I don't need to save you. In fact, you saving your wife makes her worse because you enable bad behavior. Anytime you do that with anybody, you can't save people. You want to, you feel for them, but you can't save them. You can teach them how to fish, but you can't just keep feeding them the fish. So how do you turn this around? You flip the power dynamic by dropping it completely. She's going to feel the space. She's going to absolutely feel the space. She's like, why are you so distant? Why are you so cold? Why are you being so mean? I'm like, I just stopped trying to fix all your problems. I'm literally just sitting here doing nothing, but I am now being accused of being mean and horrible and all this stuff. And this is what she does to rope you back in. You're being heartless. You don't care about me. You never cared about me. And she'll throw all this stuff at you because what she wants you to do is to pick up all of her problems again. And she'll feel destabilized. And so you reassure her with words and say, no, I'm still here. I still care about you, but I'm just right here doing this. You're upset. That's fine. You can be upset. No problem. You should be upset. That was what happened to you was terrible, but I'm not going to swoop in and save it. And so you can do this in a lot of ways. I've had guys, one of my one-on-one clients, he was even like renewing his wife's driver's license. He was literally doing everything for her to where she's completely dependent. And for a guy who needs approval and validation from his wife, the more that she's dependent on him, the more she needs him, and that makes him feel safe. And so like here's a situation that I had. So my wife bent up the side of the car a few months back by like scraping a sign. It was, I mean, no, none of us were happy about it, but it was funny in retrospect. And she was just upset, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I wrecked this car. We just got it. I feel so bad and all that stuff. I said, that's okay. Well, what are you going to do now? And I say, baby, it's okay. It's not that big a deal and all that stuff. No, I let her have her space. Because, I mean, even if I do that, it's kind of condescending. It's okay, baby. Like she knows it'll be okay. She knows she's just having an emotional moment. So I'm just there with her, and she has her space. I'm like, I understand, yeah. Yeah, I'd be upset too. I mean, look at the car. It looks terrible. She's like, stop making it better. Like, no, but she had to go through that experience. She had to go through that painful experience. She had to play its course within her. I can't go in there and save her. I'll be there and support her and love the hell out of her through it. And then when she calmed down a little bit and she was like, you could tell that she kind of processed some of it. I'm like, okay, now what are you going to do? She's like, I guess I'll call the insurance company and I guess I'll do all these things and stuff. I'm like, yeah. Could I have done that? Of course. Do I need to? Well, I mean, it's equally her responsibility to do it as mine. In fact, it's more of hers because she's the one who wrecked the fucking car. I mean, I shouldn't have to come in and save her from these things. You can say, well, that's heartless. You can be there and support your wife. I did support my wife. If she needed me to do it, there's some logistical reason or like something going on with kids, yeah, I could do that. No problem. It's not a big deal. But at the same time, it wasn't my responsibility to come in there and swoop out. Now, I wanted to. Make no mistake, I wanted to come in and save her from herself because I care about her and I love her, and I wanted to come in and save her from all these things. Old nice guy tendencies want to come back and do all this stuff, but I just stayed where I was. She's having a moment. It's totally fine to have a moment. It's totally fine to be upset. It's totally fine to be angry. Hell, it's totally fine to scream and holler and throw shit just as long as you're not being destructive against people. Just as long as you're not scaring people, you're not calling names and stuff. Yeah, I mean, all emotions are valid, and she's justified in being upset and angry and all the stuff all above. So I'm just going to be there with her. Because she's my wife. She's my partner. She's not my project. And so for you, you have to drop it. You have to drop that dynamic of trying to save her completely, and then she will destabilize. And so we're in this place where she's blaming you for everything, blaming you for her cheating, blaming you for your infidelity, blaming you for her emotional state. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. Give her silence. And to turn around and walk away. Because it is not your fault. She's a grown-ass woman. She made those decisions, and she lied and cheated. And she told you this, and she was lying to your face over and over again, lying next to you, telling you that she loves you, and pretending to be somebody that she wasn't for a long time. This is like a premeditated, horrible thing to do. And then to blame you for it and gaslight you that you're the problem is absolutely atrocious. And so that does not deserve a response. It deserves you to stand in your power and your self-respect and turn around and walk away. Yes, you have to do this. Your children are watching you. How do you deal with somebody who absolutely betrays you? Do you stay there and take more of it? Do you stay there and take more abuse? Do you allow toxic behavior to happen over and over again in your relationship so that your kids see this and embed this into their psyche and then repeat it with their partners as they grow up? Or do you show them and lead by example that when this type of thing happens in your life, you stand firm in who you are and you know exactly what the fuck you're going to do and you know exactly who you need to be? All right, brother, I love you. If you like this video, hit subscribe. Hit the like button if you want to see other videos like this in your feed, and I'll see you in the next one.